What's up, guys? This is Lucid Brain, and today we're gonna talk about basically creepypastas and like creepypasta culture, I guess you could say, from the beginning until now, basically. So there's been a huge decrease in both the quality of like creepypastas and the popularity of creepypastas, and I guess I don't know if it's because the quality is worse that we don't see them now. I don't really know why, but like when you think about creepypastas, you think of stuff from like 10 years ago, right? Like what's the most recent creepypasta icon that you can think of? Like I can't really think of one in the
Yeah, no,
past like I don't know, 2 or 3 years. All of them you think of are like really old, and I guess I don't know why that is, honestly. Well,
um,
there's Siren Head. That's kind of a that was kind of a icon, I guess.
well, I think creepypastas have kind of made their way to media, and now they're just
ARGs basically.
part of horror now, essentially. So that kind of forced it to lose its luster a little bit. I think.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people are doing ARGs now. Now I'm not saying ARGs didn't exist back in the day, because they did, but I feel like creepypastas have morphed into ARGs.
Yeah, I would agree with you.
So
I mean,
like there's
RGs have kind of spread to the point like, so there's a YouTube channel that does SpongeBob conspiracies, and he originally was like a videographer, and
Oh,
really
I
like,
think I know that guy. I forget his name, but I think I know that guy.
yeah, and he really likes shooting films and shit like that, essentially. And then he made a couple of SpongeBob conspiracies, and they blew the fuck up. And then he
Yeah.
actually added like little short film, like horror centric
Yeah.
short films in his SpongeBob conspiracy. So it's like a conspiracy on top of a conspiracy.
Yeah. That was actually cool. I remember hearing about that. Do you know that guy's name by any chance?
I can't think of it off the top of my head. But also
I'll
there's
I'll have to find it. But go ahead.
involved that are like fairly big channels that basically play into the lore. So like it was um it was done pretty well, I feel like.
Yeah. I thought that was done well. I don't know how far that's gone at this point, but a few months back I watched a video about that, and it was like really cool how he did that. It was like this whole thing where like he was feeding the monster that was forcing him to make these SpongeBob theory videos, as ridiculous as it sounds. Damn,
No,
I wish I knew the name.
he did it really well.
Yeah, he
He did
did.
that as perfect as you could possibly do it.
Yeah, that was really well done. But so yeah, like I guess that is what happened. Like creepypastas have turned into that, more grounded. Like you don't really get too many, like, especially because nowadays an ARG slash creepypasta is grounded in reality for the most part. They might tell it on social media or something, like the sun vanished and stuff like that. So you don't really get like stuff like Slender Man nowadays, because obviously Slender Man's like, it's like supernatural. Like it's not grounded in reality really. So, well, it is a little bit, but like
Well,
not much,
here's
and you don't get that very
So,
much.
here's the thing about that. I think that's kind of a product of the internet age, and just how like the supernatural and stuff like that just becomes more far fetched
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
way. Like in a world where folklore rules, you have a bunch of awesome, fantastic creatures and different legends and myths, and they have believability because that's part of that universe. But
yeah,
as technology kind of increases and shit's like basically just science, you could only go like the science fiction route, and science fiction isn't normally you know like horror necessarily.
yeah. I think people aren't interested in more supernatural stories anymore. Like, I think people just think that's cheesy now, which kind of sucks because I like some of those stories. Like,
Yeah,
what's the one story with the road that you could get anything you want at the end, but you can't actually get to the end.
you know, I'm kind of you brought that up because that was going to be one of the stories that I had that I was going to talk about.
Yeah, but I like that story.
Yeah, it's basically there's rules on this road, a bunch of stipulations, and you can have everything you want, but you have to follow the rules. And eventually, the car just stops working correctly, and then you have to get out of the car. And like the number one rule is you never get out of the car. And then you start seeing things in the car, and you have to ignore them and act like they're not there. And then eventually, the car will just run out of gas because the world is endless essentially, and it'll feel like you're at the finish, and then it'll be like, well, there's no way you can get there, type of shit. So it's pretty much if you're greedy enough to think you can get whatever you want, or you care about something more than anything else, it's not gonna work out for you.
Yeah,
It's kind of
that's
how it goes.
that's a really cool story. I forget what it was called, but yeah,
It was just
that's a
called.
really good one. What was it called?
I just think it's called The Road.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like we don't really get those more supernatural kind of ones anymore.
Yeah, like there's not a specific story, but one genre of creepypasta I really like is finding secret parts of buildings, finding secret staircases. Like
Yeah, I like those.
there was one where this guy was did like security in a college, and then he found a whole new wing that no one knew about, and then he went and traveled, and then it kept going down, and basically a bunch of crazy ass shit happened.
Yeah, those are like those are pretty creepy too because stuff like that has actually happened where people find like a doorway that's been blocked off in their house or something like that. That stuff happens.
Yeah, I
So
mean, a lot of them are like crazy exaggerated.
yeah, for sure.
So pretty much, yeah, I like that a lot. I like there was one that was about storm chasing. That was pretty crazy that I liked. There was one about an evil eye where basically if people looked in this guy's eye, they would go crazy and like kill themselves because of what they saw inside of him. Like
What was that? Was that storm chasing one about? What is that?
basically every time or the storm chasers went into a town that is like actually filled with monsters, essentially. And I'm trying to remember, but it was a very long one. It was like 3 parts, and it was just fucking crazy.
Some of the really good ones are like really long. Like remember 1999?
I'm not sure if I remember that one.
It's the one where there's a TV show. I'm assuming it was 1999, where a guy in a bear suit like was talking to kids on the TV, and he was telling them to like write letters to him and stuff. And then eventually he told the kids to meet him somewhere, and this was like a local station. Like this wasn't aired like everywhere. It was just in their area, and it was like think of it like Barney, like some guy dressed up in a suit doing all this, and he he meets up with these kids, and the main character telling the story was about to meet up too, but when he got there was police at the area, just looking for the guy in the suit, and they found a bunch of all the kids that met with him were dead.
Yeah, that's
So
oh.
that shit's just insane. That was a really long story though. That's like a shortened version of it.
There's another one, and one thing too that we considering what we talked about a couple episodes, SCP Foundation and Creepypastas have kind of melded together too.
Yeah, that's true. They base kind of have. I mean, it just so happens that a lot of SCPs are just naturally creepy, so it
Yeah,
kind of
like there's
works.
SCP and it might just be that there's a creepypasta connected to it, or that there's a creepypasta almost like entirely similar. But I think basically it was like this guy was searching like an old tunnel or something, and found a bunch of VHS tapes, and he I think this one's actually different, but he found a thing where it was a game show where people were basically, they did the no sleep experiment on them, and then
Mhm.
while they like turned to cannibals and like fucking lost their humanity. And there was the other one that was similar to that, where they found a clown that was kind of like a kid show, and then it basically was just a murderous like entity.
Hmm.
He can end up like kind of manipulating the real world and shit like that. And I feel like it was a creepypasta and connected to a SCP, but I really don't know off the top of my head what it's called or anything.
Yeah, people have made stories based around SCPs, like for sure. Yeah, those two kind of just go hand in hand, honestly. But like, there was, speaking of clowns, do you know, this is a really old one, but a really popular one. Do you know Laughing Jack?
No, I do not.
He's a clown that's it's actually really fucked. Like, it's probably one of the most messed up ones out there, but he's an imaginary friend of kids, and he basically just kills kids after being friends with them for a certain amount of time, and he's like untraceable, and he only shows himself to who he wants to see him. So if he, he'll typically show himself to the parents like right before he kills the kid.
Yeah,
So
I hate the idea of that. That sounds horrible.
it,
That
yeah,
sounds
it
horrible.
is horrible. And the worst part is he frames it so that the parents look like they killed him, so they get arrested and put in a psych ward or some shit. That, like, it's so fucked.
Yeah, I mean that type of shit's pretty scary.
Anything with kids is like just absolutely disturbing.
Yeah, well, it's because you look at the most vulnerable people in the world, and obviously they're kids, because they need people to look after them. You know,
Yeah,
the
I
idea,
mean,
and that's, you know what, I think that's why creepypastas and stuff like that are scariest, because people really do prey on children, and
yeah,
like
that's true.
that's reality, and that just like
Yeah, that's disturbing in and of itself.
it's just one of those things that it's scary in the real world, so it's just as scary. And like we've kind of been desensitized to like murder and stuff like that from just
Yeah,
kind of how it portrays it, but stuff like that, I think it still shakes most of us to our core. You know what
yeah,
I mean?
for sure. Yeah, I mean that shit freaks me out. But my only thing is like, I guess it does kind of tie in with reality, because my thing was always, what is this person or this entity's motive for just killing kids? Like, they gotta have a reason, right? But in real life, you don't have a reason. If it happens to someone, some kid, you won't get a reason. Like, they're not like, what are you gonna? You're not the one that's gonna be interrogating them when they get arrested, right? So
Think
I
about all
guess,
the people, serial killers that have done stuff like that, like even another clown, John Wayne Gacy. That's probably who it's based off of, I would think, honestly.
I've never heard of them.
Look him up after this or whatever.
Okay.
But basically, he's a guy that murdered a bunch of children, I think in Chicago, and he dressed
Jeez.
up as a party clown.
Oh wow. That, yeah, so maybe that sounds pretty similar to Laughing Jack, honestly.
Uh,
That's just what?
an old one that I really enjoyed, that kind of even was similar to like the one that I was talking about before. You talked about Jack, but I really like Candle Cove.
Yeah,
Especially
I like Candle Cove too.
that's almost like a thriller more than it is like a horror story. You know?
Yeah, that's a classic one. Candle Cove.
I mean, it's honestly it's a classic for a good reason, because it just resonates with you. And I remember reading it like on Reddit, where how they made it basically seem like a Reddit post.
Yeah, right. They do
And
that a
then I
lot on No
through all of
Sleep.
it, I was like, wow, that shit's cool as fuck.
Yeah,
Especially
it's really
all
cool.
replying, oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that like it made it feel so fucking real, and I was like, this is cool as fuck.
Yeah, that's how 1999 was. It wasn't a Reddit post, but it was it was the guy's personal blog, and he was saying like, I don't know if it was on like Tumblr or something, or if he made his own website. I don't remember. I just remember like people found this blog and no one knew if it was real or not. I mean, obviously you could deduce that yeah, it's fake probably, but it feels real
Yeah,
because
that's one
someone's doing a real blog post.
that I have noticed is there's not. I don't know of any creepypastas that are like based on true story or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, there's really not many of those like at all really. I mean, I don't know if this is considered a creepypasta. It might be more of a legend, but Polybius, people playing it and dying because they
Yeah,
played the game. That people did actually die playing arcade games. Like that's been recorded, but I don't know. I don't think it was ever recorded that it was Polybius, and I don't think it was like I think it was actually in the same area that Polybius was supposedly at and everything too, but I don't think it was ever stated that it was Polybius. So
yeah, I think that's kind of crazy. That I think it's more or less like an urban legend at this point. More
yeah,
than
I'd say it's more of an urban legend than a
wait,
creepypasta.
those things kind of because look, Slenderman started as a creepypasta essentially, then it
Yeah,
turned into a media character, then it turned into an urban legend, and
yeah,
now it's fucking folklore. You know?
yeah, pretty much modern folklore. Same with, and I hate it, but I can't ignore how popular it is. Jeff the Killer's the same exact way. It's pretty much just as popular, maybe a little less, but pretty almost just as popular as Slender Man. And it's not really a supernatural story, so Jeff the Killer could happen, I guess. But
I
it's
was
just like
uh, I was watching a video on the origins of the picture, and no one really like they kind of figured out a little bit of where it came from, possibly, but
yeah,
like uncertain.
yeah. It's people have been trying to find the origin of that picture. I'll probably put that on the screen for years, dude. And no one seems to be able to pinpoint. You know what's so weird? I just got a video recommended to me, or no, a stream from Goose Boost, which is a YouTuber for those who don't know. And he found a picture like recently that looked almost identical but unedited of the Jeff the Killer picture, and
Yeah,
he thinks it might
I
be
watched
it.
the video.
What'd you say?
I'm pretty sure I watched that same video.
Yeah, I saw a couple videos about that. I saw one a long time ago, and then I saw one like super recently. But yeah, like Jeff the Killer could happen. It's like kind of grounded in reality, but it's also pretty stupid in my opinion, that creepypasta. And then there's like so many variations of it. Then they made Jane the Killer, which is just Jeff the Killer, but female. It's like, what is what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, honestly, I've tried to read through it maybe once or twice, but I don't think I've ever fully read through it. Honestly.
I don't know if I've ever like actually I probably have gotten through like most of the original like Jeff the Killer because people have made so many versions, but the original version, what was it? Like he got like it was like an accident with acid or something like that, and then he like cut his eyelids open, which is why he looks the way he does. Uh and then he's just fucking like killing people.
Well,
It's like
why
what,
not,
dude?
did they not explain why he doesn't have a nose and it's like he never had a nose?
Well, I think yeah, because I think acid or something like that splashed on his face, and I guess that's why.
Yeah, but you'd still see two weird looking holes.
That's true. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. And then Jane the Killer is like, from my memory, is even worse because it's just so low effort, and then they're just trying to ride off the hype of Jeff the Killer. and it's just like, why does this exist? There's one kind of similar to Jeff the Killer, but like a little more supernatural, called Eyeless Jack. Have you ever heard of that?
Nope.
He's a guy, I guess he has like, he's a student who has like schizophrenia or something, and his schizophrenia gets progressively worse and worse and worse to the point where every time he looks at someone, their face like deforms, and it's like scaring him to death, and he doesn't want to look at people anymore. And this sounds so weird now thinking back on it. He eats like a kidney, like a pig kidney, like just meat, and for some reason that like makes his schizophrenia go away. And so he goes to the store. I'm gonna make this quick. I'm not gonna make this that long. He goes to the store and he tries to get more of it so he doesn't have to deal with the hallucinations. And they say all the kidneys have been recalled or something like that. So he's in like distraught about that. And then he goes around killing actual people and taking their kidneys and eating them to like fix his schizophrenia or whatever. So it's a weird story. That's another one there's multiple versions of. There's plenty of versions of that one.
Yeah, it sounds like a weird premise, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with the kidney thing, but that's fucking weird, honestly. Dude, there's a creepypasta that honestly scared me to death. And it's a really short creepypasta. You can literally read it in like 5 minutes, probably. It's called the Expressionless. Have you heard of that?
I have not.
It's like a lady comes into a hospital drenched in blood, and like she's like hurt, but they don't know how she got hurt. And she's like half mannequin. Like she's, that's why they call her the Expressionless, because she looks like a mannequin. And dude, the picture accompanied with this creepypasta, I don't know what it is. Mannequins I don't like mannequins at all. I hate shit like that. It creeps me out so much. And the picture accompanied with the creepypasta, I was thinking about it for a long time. I can send it to you. But
yeah, I don't want to look at it then, honestly.
You don't want to look at it?
Nope.
I don't think it would creep you out as much as me, though. Because I just hate stuff like that. Like robots and like stuff that looks human but not quite, that uncanny shit.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either, too, dude.
Okay. I just feel like that stuff scares me more than other people. But yeah. And this lady, dude, they're helping her and fixing her wounds and stuff. And then she just opens her mouth and she has like a bunch of sharp teeth. And then she like bites one of the doctor's hands and like runs out of the hospital or something like that. And they never see her ever again. And I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just the picture, but that just scared the hell out of me. And they were saying like the doctors didn't want to look at her because she was so creepy. The doctors didn't even want to help her really, but they felt they had to because the lady was dying. So like, I don't know. That story just shook me. I probably put that picture on screen so other people can see it.
Works for me. Yeah, I mean, creepypastas definitely have kind of take on a world of their own.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, like, I don't know, some of them are so weird because they kind of blend in with, like, urban legends, like Herobrine, like in Minecraft. I don't know if you'd call that a creepypasta, but shit like that. Like, I remember as a kid, people wholeheartedly believed that. Like, wholeheartedly. When we were in, like, middle school.
I think a lot of people still believe that.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, I believed a lot of those creepypasta stories when I was younger.
Well, just look, Ben Drown is a,
Yeah, Ben Drown, that was a really convincing one. And, like, I remember when I was younger, I think it was Slender the Arrival, the game, where they say if you dream about him, it means he's watching you. And, like, I had a dream about him. Actually, I think I had multiple dreams about him. So I was like, oh no, I'm gonna die.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of ridiculous. Just because if you're thinking about something, you're obviously gonna end up, dreaming about it.
Yeah, because it's in your subconscious, so like it makes perfect sense. But that's honestly a pretty good tactic to scare people, because if someone dreams about it, that's a everyday, not everyday occurrence, but like a common occurrence. So that's something that'll scare people. I think that's pretty smart, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think stuff like that is done pretty well. That's why Slenderman kind of came on the scene and was a big deal. And I mean,
Yeah, it was huge.
there's people that say that they've literally seen the guy, and
Yeah.
that's 100% real.
Yeah.
I'm serious about it. So take what you take that. However,
What was that Pokemon creepypasta where I don't actually, yeah, it definitely was a creepypasta where the music plays backwards and it's like really creepy.
well, here's the thing, Lavender Town, they actually did. It's not really a creepypasta because the frequency that they used or the BPM that they use. People at certain ages have different ranges of what they can hear, and I guess
Yeah.
it was a thing that really bothered younger kids age group and whatever frequency they're able to hear and
Hmm.
really drive them fucking mad. And they
Really?
changed yeah, they changed the actual music. They changed it and pitched it differently so it wouldn't
Hmm.
have that.
I don't think I knew that.
It's one of the dark spots on Pokemon's record.
Yeah, I'm sure. Along with the episode that gave a bunch of people seizures.
Yeah, and it sucks because Porygon's a dope Pokemon.
What is that? Is that the what did he do that episode or something?
Yeah, that he was in that episode.
Uh,
Never been in one since.
wow,
Because
really?
yeah,
So did that music only play in one area?
yeah,
Lavender Town?
it played in Lavender Town.
Yeah, I didn't know there was any like truth to that.
Yeah. No, as to people actually died, I don't know, but I think it was
I mean,
said that it gave people headaches, like serious headaches and shit.
that's really interesting. How like some sort of audio can like mess with your head like that.
Well, so I don't know if this is a creepy pasta or not, but it kind of is. So there was basically a guy that was a amateur cave explorer in like New Mexico or Arizona, and he found this cave that or this like artificial like rock like cave type of thing, and went inside and basically he couldn't get near it because it gave him a serious headache,
Hmm.
and he thought it was super weird, and he almost felt like piercing headache, and posted about it on Reddit, like a climbing forum or like a cave exploring forum, and then people were saying, "Oh, go back out and film it. Oh, go back out and film it." So he went back out and he tried to film it, and I don't think. Apparently, what people speculate is that he came across a military base that's secret, and the military actually does have this thing that pumps sound waves out, and it basically does it at a frequency that gives you a fucking massive migraine, and the
Yeah,
louder
I
your
believe it.
basically, I mean, it's basically sound warfare,
Yeah,
and
right.
but they put it around spots so they don't want people around because it'll give you a massive fucking headache. So like people are bound to get the fuck away as fast as they can, pretty much.
That's kind of crazy. If like he found a military base, that's kind of insane.
Yeah, that's what people think because he said he was going, and then he even like posted like, "All right, on my way, into the desert or wherever," and then he just never posted again.
Oh, so he never. What did they get him or something?
Yeah, no, I guess he wandered in somewhere that he fucking shouldn't have. Is what the story is at
Well,
least.
there was a one that actually really disturbed me. What was it called? It was something. It had a really wordy name. That's why I can't ever remember it. But I sent it to you before. I think it was with the family that lived with the monster, and if they hurt the monster, it hurts them, and if they hurt the monster a lot, it could kill them possibly. And the monster's super annoying. Like they have to just live with this thing, and I don't know why they didn't like call someone to get rid of it. I don't know if they mentioned that. I don't know, but
Yeah, I remember
They-
this one.
yeah.
Vaguely.
and they just live with this monster for years and years, and he just gets more and more annoying, and they get tired of him. And the monster's basically like immortal, like it can't die. No matter how much damage you do to it, it doesn't die. But it's so annoying that people in the family get progressively more fed up with it, and one of them tries to kill the monster, and then the damage that the monster takes goes back to you. So the first person who killed him, well, tried to kill him, died. So they lost a family member, and as you can imagine, they got even more mad at the monster, and literally one by one, they try and kill this monster because just out of rage, like they just snap and just they're like, I'm done, I can't do it anymore. So they try and kill the monster. Monster kills them, and then it was down to the last person. He lost his whole family this way, and I think he killed himself because of that. So it's a pretty fucked creepypasta.
Yeah, it's kind of a really big downer.
Yeah, that creepypasta actually stuck with me for a while because it was pretty disturbing. One of those like less realistic ones that's like actually pretty disturbing. I've the ones that aren't as realistic usually aren't as scary, but like that's one of the ones that got to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. That one, I can see where that one could get under someone's skin. Yeah, so basically, adding to creepypasta media, they even did kind of make their segue into streaming and TV, because Sci-Fi picked up a series called Channel Zero, and it went for a little while and had 3 different creepypastas. One was Candle Cove, 2 was No End House, and I don't remember what the third one was.
I don't remember either.
But it was pretty good, and I think they did them all pretty well.
Yeah, I saw No End House and Candle Cove, and they're both pretty good, pretty engaging. And I think like I don't hear anyone talk about Channel Zero. Like I had to actively like seek it out online to like I had to dig to find out where to watch that for some reason. And if
it's kind of stupid.
yeah, because they took it off of everything.
Yeah, it's pretty well produced as well.
It is.
So,
but yeah, it's literally adapting creepypastas into live action. And if you're interested in watching it, you can get a service called Shudder. I think it's on. I don't know if you can get it on every TV, but I can get it on mine. You can get it on your PlayStation or your Xbox. I think you can get it almost anywhere. So, and it's $5 a month. So if you're like interested in watching it, there you go. Well, guys, this is Lucid Brain. Hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you guys next time.
peace.
Peace.